Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I have another VGC 14 battle for you all since you guys hit 500 likes on the last video, so let's aim for another 500 on this one. Anyway, today I'm bringing you Game 2 against Jonas, also known as Lit Power Media. In the first game I really tried to use Klefki to, win the game with the Safeguard Swagger combo. This time I actually didn't bring Klefki. My forward this time are Hydreigon, Amoonguss, Scizor, and Kangaskhan. Jonas got rid of his Scrafty, bringing Gardevoir instead, keeping the other three in Tyranitar, Kangaskhan, and Meowstic. So, let's get into the battle. Now, I knew in first game that Scizor was my key to winning. If I could set up a Swords Dance, I could pretty much sweep Jonas' entire team. And in the first game, I misplayed a little. I had a bunch of opportunities to set up a Swords Dance or even Swagger myself, but I did not let that happen. But I still ended up winning, but check that game out if you guys haven't watched it. Now, I'm going to lead with Hydreigon and Amoonguss against his Kangaskhan and Meowstic. This is not a bad lead matchup for me, just because, of course, Amoonguss can always redirect Kangaskhan's attacks away, and Amoonguss carrying the Rocky Helmet, perfectly fine redirecting Kangaskhan's attacks. So he's going to Mega Evolve. I'm actually going to go for the Protect. Now, I was running Life Orb Hydreigon at the time. I do run Choice Specs now, but he's going to go with the Misty Terrain, and this totally caught me off guard. Basically a safeguard for him. It's a move that is pretty rare in VGC, and he goes for a pretty awesome play as he power-up punches himself up onto the Meowstic. So now I'm in a lot of trouble as he gets a free +2 Kangaskhan. So really, really perfect play by Jonas on the first turn as my Spore is negated because of the Misty Terrain. So at this point, I'm just like, what? I have no idea how I'm supposed to even go about coming back in this battle. But I do know that the Amoonguss does carry Rage Powder, so I should be able to take an attack from that Kangaskhan, get some Rocky Helmet damage off, and that Hydreigon should be able to get a lot of damage off with the Draco Meteor, but he does go for the Light Screen, which is a really great move. Oddly enough, though, my Hydreigon actually outspeeds his Kangaskhan, indicating to me that the Kangaskhan's probably not running as much attack investment and a lot more in, say, HP special defense investment. You see that? Kangaskhan takes the Life Orb Draco Meteor like a champ. However, I think he does get a bit more aggressive here as he goes for a power-up punch onto Amoonguss instead of just going for the return. That power-up punch most definitely probably targeting the Hydreigon this turn. Because I got the Rage Powder off, he's not going to be able to KO my Hydreigon, and he's going to actually take a lot of damage solely from the Rocky Helmet. So, I brought him down around 40% with the Draco Meteor and Rocky Helmet. However, now my Hydreigon's at -2, and he's at +4 with Kangaskhan, so things still aren't the best. I know I need to KO this Kangaskhan immediately, otherwise this game will end, basically. He's going to switch Meowstic into Gardevoir since Meowstic has basically done what it's needed to. It got the Light Screen up, it got the Misty Terrain up. I'm going to go with another Rage Powder, hoping that I can take the Kangaskhan out this turn with a redirecting the attack away and with another Draco Meteor. However, Draco Meteor didn't do as much as I expected, like I said, the first time around, since this one seems like it's a very defensively oriented Kangaskhan. And you see there, Kangaskhan takes very little damage, actually, from that Draco Meteor, as I take a bit more Life Orb damage. This time, he actually goes for the Double Edge. Now, I'm really happy to see Double Edge, because I know with the recoil damage and the Rocky Helmet damage, it's going to mean that he's actually going to take a lot of recoil damage, probably enough to KO himself. You'll see here, Rocky Helmet takes another 6 away, and he faints from the recoil damage from Double Edge. So, really happy there, because he had a +4 Kangaskhan. That's something I definitely did not want to go up against, but fortunately enough, I only lost Amoonguss as a result, and I will take that any day. So, I get to bring in my Kangaskhan safely now. Losing Amoonguss is perfectly fine, because Amoonguss is almost useless in terms of sporing, because he's got the Misty Terrain out. But I'm going to switch the Hydreigon into Scizor now. This is an opportune time for Scizor to come in and get a Swords Dance up, just because he doesn't have a Pokemon with a Fire type of attack. Of course, Gardevoir actually rarely carries Hidden Power Fire, but it is a good move. It is very difficult to get onto it, though, so I'm not really expecting that. Regardless, I do Mega Evolve and go for the Fake Out onto Gardevoir just to get damage off, of course. Gardevoir, not the most defensive Pokemon, so it takes around 40% from there. And he does go for the Fake Out onto Kangaskhan. I don't think there's actually anything Meowstic could have done there except set up a Reflect, which he does do this turn, so in the long run, it doesn't really end up mattering. So really interesting Meowstic set. Reflect, Light Screen, Misty Terrain, and Fake Out. Here, I do go for the return onto Gardevoir, just trying to get as much damage off as possible. You see that it does eat its Citrus Berry, and with the Reflect, takes it pretty well. After 2 hits, barely bringing it down into yellow range, as Gardevoir just goes for a Moonblast, no Hidden Power Fire, so that's good for me, as my Scizor means it can safely set up a Swords Dance. Setting up the Swords Dance basically locks up the game, actually, for me, because now I know if Tyranitar's in the back, I can KO the Tyranitar instantly. The misplay I made last game was not KOing, setting up to beat the potential Tyranitar when I could have. So this game, I adjust and make sure my Scizor is out and gets its boost before the Tyranitar comes in. He's going to switch the Meowstic out into Tyranitar since Meowstic is absolutely useless now, it can't do anything. I do go for the Bullet Punch onto the Gardevoir just because I know I can pick up the KO there and his Meowstic is useless. So I do pick up the KO on Gardevoir, bringing things to 3-2, and I do go for the Power Up Punch since I assume Meowstic would switch out that turn. So Not only is my Scizor at +2 now, my Kangaskhan is also at +2, and that's basically going to seal things up for me because I do have, I can just KO, you know, both of his Pokemon the following turn. So, really, the strategy of this game, or I guess my win condition, was making sure that his Kangaskhan would not sweep me, and fortunately enough, with Rocky Helmet Amoonguss, him carrying Double Edge helped a lot too. You know, I ended up being able to do that. So he went for the fake out here onto Scizor, but I just went for the double target onto Tyranitar this turn, knowing like the fake out was coming. So I targeted with the Bullet Punch and a Power Up Punch. Fakes out the Scizor, but I KO him regardless. So 3-1 in my favor now, and I'll be able to lock things up the following turn with the X-Scissor and a return. Of course, that Meowstic actually doesn't even carry any offensive attack, so at this point it can't really do anything. And with no Thunder Wave or Swagger, can't even rely on some luck to bail him out. But it was a really fun set with Jonas. Game 1 was definitely really intense, and I thought he had Game 2 for sure based off how the first turn went. Really couldn't have been played out any perfectly for me, or for him, excuse me. But fortunately enough, able to come back after some smart maneuvering, making sure that Hydreigon didn't go down, and using Rocky Helmet. Rocky Helmet, one of my favorite ways to damage Kangaskhan. You know, often you do around a half to 4/6 of Kangaskhan's damage just with the Rocky Helmet. So, if you're not running Rocky Helmet on Amoonguss, you should probably have a pretty good reason, because it's such a great way to check opposing Kangaskhan's. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed that battle, guys. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good set with Jonas. Definitely check his channel out. Really nice guy and really cool dude. And yeah, that's it for today's battle, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Peace.